Right, we're up to 2012 in the grand scheme of the playoffs and reviewing what happened back in 2012. And I chose New Jersey and the New York Rangers. You know why? This is a matchup between Henrik Lundqvist and Marty Brodeur. And for all of the talk about what the Kings did that year and that crazy round between the Penguins and the Flyers, which I kind of covered today in the rivalry series, this series kind of gets forgotten. And yet it's a conference final, right? And it's the New York Rangers who had a record of 51-24-7. Great record for them. They finished just behind the President's Trophy winning Vancouver Canucks that year. And the New Jersey Devils were 48-28-6. No slouches themselves. They went through Florida, beat them in 7. Then they beat Philadelphia in 5. While the Rangers went through Ottawa in 7, and then they went through Washington in 7. So maybe they were a little more tired. It didn't show out of the gate. So this is where they had rest because the other team had only played five. Nah. If you win game 1, then all that rest and all that talk is gone, as far as I'm concerned. Now, in goals for, these teams were very close. 228 for the Devils to 226 for the Rangers. 11th and 13th overall in the NHL. Goals against, the Rangers were better than the Devils. 187 to 209. 3rd or 8th, respectively. So to start off this series, New York at home, they do what you want to do at home in a game 1, they win it. First period, no scoring. Second period, no scoring. Now, the similarity between game 1 and game 3 in this series is striking. So when I got to game 3, I went, I already did this one, did I? Oh, no, okay. Girardi scores the first goal from Kreider and Del Zotto at 53 seconds. And then we get a power play goal from Chris Kreider, Anisimov and Girardi with the assists at 12 minutes. And then there's an empty net goal. It's Anisimov from Boyle and Fedotenko at 18:33. And the New York Rangers eventually roll over the Devils. Brodeur saves 25 out of 27 in the loss. Lundqvist saves all 21 at his end of the ice. And you're thinking, all right, so the Rangers look pretty good in this series. The Devils have had a nice little run here. But eventually, that's going to come to a halt. This was a year, 2012, that we saw 2 Cinderella runs, the Devils and the Kings. And this was kind of that last hurrah for Marty Brodeur, as it was. And he showed he wasn't willing to give up his spot in Game 2. First period, it's a power play goal for Kovalchuk from Zidlichky and Parise at 13:39. Makes it 1-0 after 1, but in the second, the Rangers fight back. A power play goal from Stahl. Richards and Girardi with the assists at 2:23, and then it's another power play goal. It's Chris Kreider from Stralman and Anisimov at 12:19. Ryan Carter ties it up from Bryce Salvador and Steve Bernier at 18:09. We go to the third period, and Clarkson gets the game winner from Henrique and Salvador at 2:31. The New Jersey Devils go into the New York Rangers Madison Square Garden, and they win it. Brodeur, 23 saves on 25 shots. Lundqvist, 24 saves on 27 shots in the loss. So now we have that change of venue. We're going to New Jersey. In New Jersey, the New York Rangers look at that script from game 1, and they go, that's interesting. All right, so we won't have any scoring in the first. Done. There's no scoring in the second. Done. Third period, Girardi, you're on the power play. Why? You got to get the goal. And he does. From Richards at 3:19. Kreider, you're on the ice. Why? You got the second goal in game 1. We've got to follow the script. Done. It is Kreider from McDonough and Callahan at 5:16. And then they wait around, and then the goaltender gets pulled, and they go, hey, we got to get an empty netter. And they do. It's Callahan from Boyle and Fedotenko. Whereas in the game 1, it was Anisimov from Boyle and Fedotenko. This one's at 17:47. That one was at 18:33. And you can see why when I got to game 3 on this, I went, I already looked at that game. Oh, okay. Lundqvist makes 36 saves for the shutout. 36 saves. Fantastic. Brodeur saves 19 out of 21 in the loss. And the Rangers, with 2 shutouts in 3 games, look fantastic. So game 4, big win. New Jersey up against the wall here. They know they have to win at home. And Bryce Salvador gets the goal from Ponikarovsky and Josephson at 8 minutes and 10 seconds. If those guys were in your pool, you weren't doing very well usually, but Salvador had a really good series. Travis Zajac then scores from Parise and Zubris at 11:59. It's 2-0 after 1. Second period, no scoring in the second. Third period, Parise scores on the power play. That's your insurance goal from Kovalchuk and Henrique at 2:41. Fedotenko would break up the shutout from Richards and Del Zotto at 14:55. And then it's an empty netter. It's Parise scoring from Salvador and Brodeur at 18:31. So Marty Brodeur gets on the board with an assist. Lundqvist, 26 saves on 29 shots in the loss. Brodeur, 28 saves on 29 shots. So it's a 2-2 series. Going back to MSG. And of course, the Rangers still they're in pretty good shape, pretty good spot. And you got to be thinking, hey, we might see the Rangers and the Kings. Well, we would, but not this season. Game 5 in New York. The New Jersey Devils, they score early and they score often. It's Gionta from Fane and Bernier at 2:43, and then less than 2 minutes later, Elias scores from Henrique and Kovalchuk at 4:13, and then Zajac scores from Parise and Salvador at 9:49. We're halfway into the first period. It's 3-0 in favor of New Jersey in New York. Prust would score from Fedotenko and Stepan at 15:41, 3-1. Second period, Callahan scores from Anisimov and Dubinsky at 32 seconds. So that makes it 3-2. The rest of the period is scoreless. Third period, Gaborik scores unassisted. And so that ties up the game. The New York Rangers tied with New Jersey. Rangers knowing how desperately they need the game. Ryan Carter, the unlikely hero. And there's always an unlikely hero with New Jersey. It feels like you always have that unlikely guy. At some point in time, I'm going to go through all the playoff records and go, here's your unlikelies, your John Drusas for each year. Carter's got to be one of them. From Gionta and Zidlichki at 15:36. So Gionta's on the board there. And then it's an empty netter, Parise from Kovalchuk and Fane at 19:28. I believe that's Steven Gionta too. I don't think that was Brian Gionta by the time we get to 2012. Brodeur, 25 saves on 28 shots for him. Lundqvist, 12 saves on 16 shots. I'm pretty sure that's Steven Gionta. So Lundqvist only faces 16 shots, allows 4 goals. Hey, he had to have an off night somewhere. It's just too bad it was Game 5. So we go to Game 6. We're in New Jersey. New Jersey just has to win at home. And this is a great Game 6. It's a great elimination game kind of for both teams. It's Carter. Ryan Carter again from Gionta and Bernier at 10:05. That's their fourth line in that series. It all comes back to me. Sometimes the cobwebs up here and clear a little bit. Power play goal, Kovalchuk from Zubaris and Clarkson at 13:56. It's 2-0 New Jersey after the first period. Second period, the Rangers do fight back around the halfway mark. Fedotenko from McDonough and Richards at 9:47. And then not long after, it's Ryan Callahan getting a goal from Girardi and McDonough at 13:41. Tie game. Third period, no scoring in that period. So we go to overtime, early in the overtime. In New Jersey, Henrique gets the goal from Kovalchuk and Ponikarovsky at 1 minute and 3 seconds. And the New Jersey Devils are going to the Stanley Cup Finals, where they would push the Kings, but they end up losing to the Kings in 6. Henrique with the goal from Kovalchuk and Ponikarovsky is one of the great goals in New Jersey history. Lundqvist, 26 saves on 29 shots. Brodeur saves 33 out of 35. You know, the funny thing is I talk about Brodeur a lot because Brodeur was in the league forever, has the most wins of any goaltender in the league. I honestly look at the 2012 run, and I was more impressed with the 2012 run than any of the Stanley Cup runs. I honestly thought he faced tougher shots. I thought he was sharper. And I thought all the way through, he had this air about him like he knew this was his last run. He knew this was his big chance at one more Stanley Cup ring. And Kovalchuk was kind of fantastic as well. Kovalchuk had 2 goals and 4 assists. But Parise gets the headline in this one for 3 goals and 3 assists. So both of them had 6 points in 6 games, which is impressive when you consider the New Jersey Devils were shut out twice. Salvadon. Let me just go ahead and change that over to Salvador, shall we? Don't tell Brace I did that. 1 goal, 5 assists. Somebody's going to tag him. 1 goal, 5 assists for Salvador, now Salvador, in that series. And yeah, Bryce Salvador was 6 points in 6 games, right? Henrique, 1 goal, 3 assists, and there's Ryan Carter with 3 goals. Key goals for him all the way along, and that fourth line was fantastic, again with Gionta and Bernier. On the goaltending side of it, Brodeur 4-2 with a .927 save percentage. Excellent overall numbers. And then the Rangers, Fedotenko 2 goals, 3 assists. Girardi 2 goals, 3 assists. Callahan 3 goals and 1 assist. Chris Kreider 3 goals and a helper as well. And Anisimov a goal and 3 assists. Lundqvist was 2-4 in this series with a .918 save percentage. His overall save percentage gets hurt in this game right here. The 12 saves on 16 shots. 36 save shutout here, 21 save shutout there. And when we talk about Lundqvist's career, we're going to talk about seasons where the Rangers get close, right? Whether it's 2014 or here in 2012. And what might have been, what could have been. And considering that 2-1 series lead they had with 2 shutouts after Game 3, maybe they should have had. But the New Jersey Devils proved, as they've done every year since, I want to say, 94. You go back to 94, for the first time that they really showed a lot in the playoffs. I guess you could go with 88 with that run by Sean Burke, but for me, 94 on, the Devils have always been a tough out. And this was another case of that. So they go to the Stanley Cup Finals, and for the Rangers, they had to go back to the drawing board. Pretty spectacular series. And again, I covered this one today because I feel like it's one that doesn't get talked about a ton. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And yes, I've been trying to do a madness board since the end of the live stream. I did 3 different that I just ended up just not doing. I've been trying for hours to come up with this chart, and I gave up, and you get this. And so I'll try the madness board again probably tomorrow. But we'll see how that turns out. Thank you guys so much for all your support. As always, do hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video, and I will talk to you again soon.